Well, hello there, ladies and gents. I'm Tammy, and thank you so much for stopping by my channel, where today I'm going to teach you about lighting and how you should light your YouTube studios. So I got a lot of questions about microphones, and you probably see the channel is thus far littered with microphone videos. So let's go ahead and change that today by putting in the first lighting video. So you guys always send me a lot of different questions about lights. What kind of lights, specific lights, lights with bulbs, like what do you mean lighting, special lighting, where do we set it up, how many do we need? I am going to cover all of that today. But let me start by saying this. The absolute best lighting that you can use for your videos is going to be natural lighting. So sunlight is the most pure, beautiful light that you can film with. I know a lot of you are in offices and maybe in very closed, small offices, and maybe you don't even have a window. So you're absolutely going to need studio lighting. Or maybe where you are, it doesn't get very bright. You're going to need studio lighting. Or maybe you're only filming at night, so then you're absolutely going to need studio lighting. And by the way, sunlight is never really predictable. You have to know when that light is going to fall through your window, when you can take, the best advantage of that light, and you have to film only within that time frame. It's difficult. So yes, if you can use the natural sunlight, perfect. If not, I'm going to recommend a few different lights for you, for your YouTube studio, to give you the best, most professional lighting for a fraction of the cost. Let's talk about the main light that is going to be on you. This is known as your key light. So the key light is going to deliver the most amount of light to your subject or whomever you're filming. If you're filming yourself, then you will be the subject. And your key light needs to be close to you. My key light is right here, just out of frame of the camera. And by the way, I'm gonna walk around with the camera and show you the angles and how everything is pointed and tilted down in just a few minutes. But I'm just going to basically walk you through a few basics of how the lighting falls and how it works, okay? So you want your key light just basically off camera, pointed at you in a 45-degree angle. So, in other words, if I'm looking at the lens right now, the camera is going to be at a 45-degree angle between my exact right and to where the lens is pointed. So halfway, and it's going to be pointed down a little. This is going to allow that light to hit my face just so that we're going to achieve what's known as a Rembrandt look or Rembrandt lighting. Now, Rembrandt lighting was made very famous by the artist Rembrandt, who painted his subjects with a very specific light style and how the shadows fell on their face. So right now, I have my key light set up to have a Rembrandt lighting on my face. And what's indicative of that should be a triangle on the left side of my cheek, just under my eye. So the shadow from my nose and from this side should be forming a little bit of a triangle on this side of the face, if I've pulled it off. If not, maybe not just so. But if you want ultra dramatic lighting, that's the lighting you're going to be looking for. Let's say that the Rembrandt lighting was a little too dramatic for what you're looking for. There's other things that you can do that are going to brighten up the type of picture that I have. Number one would be what's known as a fill light. So along with the key light that's going to be on my right-hand side, you would have a secondary light on your left-hand side. But here's the trick with the fill light. The fill light should never be as bright as your main key light. That always needs to be the brightest light in the picture, is that main light, your key light. So let's say you didn't want to get a fill light. There's another way that you can get some additional light on your face without a secondary light. And I'm going to tell you how to do that just by using a little white poster board. All you have to do is put this poster board up, and it's actually going to reflect the light from the key light back onto the shadowed side of your face, and this is going to brighten up your entire face. So let me do a demonstration. So right now I have the key light setting just so with the Rembrandt lighting. Now I'm just going to lift the poster board, and look at how that immediately filled in the other side of my face to give my face a more evenly lit lighting look. So if you're doing something that you know, a talking head video, and you want something that is less dramatic and a little more well lit, you can either do the fill light, or you absolutely can use the bounce card. Now the bounce card just needs to be out of frame of the camera. You never want your camera to pick up the little things that are, you know, going on, like the microphone trick I told you about. The microphone is just out of frame of the camera, but it's there and it's working. Same thing with the poster board. You could either tape it to the microphone stand so that the light is bouncing off of it back onto your face, or you could clamp it on. There's many different ways for you to mount that poster board. So what do you guys think? Okay, so fill board, none. I'm looking at my monitor. I like the more dramatic look, so I like the Rembrandt lighting for me personally. It is a dark and dreary day here in New Jersey, so I'm not getting a whole lot of sunlight, and I normally have to film at night because this is the office, and normally this place is a hive during the day. I really can't do too much filming during the day, so it's very hard for me to take advantage of the beautiful sunlight that does come spilling through the window, unfortunately. So let me talk about the other lights that you're able to see within the actual camera frame. Let me just put the poster board down. So you may notice there's other lights going on behind me, like the fairy lights that are off behind me. There's also an LED strip that is on the back desk, and you can see that illuminating up. There's also a light behind the plant on the desk, and another light that is hanging off the microphone stand that's illuminating some different things on that desk. This is what's known as practical lights. So these are basically just decorative lights. They're not exactly giving you any sort of lighting for the image that you're getting. They're just there to add a little beauty and add a little bit of decoration, just to spice up your video a little bit. So anytime that you can add a practical light, beautiful. I wish we could use candles because I like the way candles look on film, but this is an office, and you know, there's a lot that can go wrong with candles, accidentally leaving them lit, what have you. So, or I could get fake candles, those, But I like the fairy lights too. Those definitely add a little something to the video. Now, I do have another light in this video, and the light that's in the video is actually behind me, off and to the left. Now, what that light is doing is shining directly on my shoulder and on my hair. So this is acting as a hair light. It's illuminating my hair and illuminating my shoulder, and what this is doing is giving me separation from the background. So this is going to make me pop and make that background look just a little darker. I think it's more beautiful. When I first started doing videos, I didn't have any of this, and without doing all these different lighting the way I'm going to tell you how to do them, you know what's going to happen. You're going to have a look with your videos like it was filmed on a VHS tape. That's the way my very first few videos looked. I filmed them with an iPad, and I had really bad lighting, and I didn't have 3-point lighting. I didn't have any of that, and they looked terrible. And to boot, oh, this is the best part. Green screen. I did it on a green screen. I don't know why I did the green screen thing. I can't remember who made that decision to do it, why it was even recommended, but it happened. We all have regrets. Believe you me, looking back at my earlier videos, remember I said the cringe factor? If you don't watch your old videos and cringe, you're not learning and growing. The most important part of your lighting kit is not the fact that you're going to have lights. Absolutely, you need lights. It doesn't matter what kind of lights. The most important part of your lighting is that you need to diffuse it in some way. You don't want that light shining directly on you. That's going to cause a burn on your face. Now, I don't mean an actual burn, but a light burn on your face. This is where the light is shining so harshly on your face that certain parts of your face look very bright, white, and shiny. That's going to be a light burn on your face. You don't want that. You want a very nice, soft illumination for your light. So let's talk about how you can diffuse your light. So now this is the point where I'm going to walk around with the camera and show you the different lights that I have in studio that I've purchased along the way before I purchased my very main key light that I have right here. Alright guys, so excuse the informality of all this. This is going to be like a little BTS for you, okay? So this is the very first light that I used when I made my initial YouTube videos. And I used it just like this. Let me turn it on so that you can see what I'm talking about. Let me get the on-off button. Boom! That's pretty bright light. Horrible, right? That was shining on my face. So let me do that again. Let me turn it towards me so that you can see what I'm talking about when I say light burn. Let me get it here. Let me fold it up. It basically was shining on me like this, like I'm an idiot, right? I did not know what I was doing. There's nothing wrong with this softbox setup. It's very affordable. And you probably can purchase these on Amazon, you know, the soft box, which is basically a collapsible soft box. The light stand and this little light bulb is known as a corncob LED light. You could probably get this whole entire kit for around $50. Maybe not even that much anymore. But what could I have done to fix this light, to change the look of this light that would have made it a lot better? Was this. Just adding this little thing. This is known as a diffuser. So you want to take this and just cover the outside of your softbox. And this diffusion material is going to soften the light and make it so much more beautiful and usable for your video. Now, these came with the lighting kit. I just didn't know what they were for. I thought, you know, I want to get the best lighting as much as possible, and if I'm going to put this on here, it's going to block the lighting. That's not the look I'm going for. I need a lot of light because I'm using a green screen, because I'd watched some videos on how to illuminate a green screen, and you needed a lot of light to do green screen. So that's all I thought was, okay, I need a lot of light. And if I use this thing, it's gonna block my light, and I don't wanna block my light. See how when you don't know things, you just don't think logically? There's no way for you to know how the outcome is going to be. But anyway, let me show you the difference. So now let me turn this on. I mean, it's still very bright, but you can see at least it doesn't have that burn mark. It's extraordinarily bright, but still, you can absolutely 100% use this light if you want to get started with your lighting kit and you only have a small budget. $50 for your main key light is going to be a lot. It's going to be plenty, believe you me. And let's say you don't want this whole entire light on you, which, by the way, depending on what time of day you're doing it, depending on the size of your space, depending how close you bring the light to you. Remember I was talking about that bounce card? You can use the light and bounce the light off a card, and then that card can wind up being your main key light. So let me give you a demonstration of that.